On June 8, 2017, 3 overtime employees were shot by a distraught worker at a local Tunkhannock supermarket. The gunman then went on to turn the weapon on themselves and committed suicide. While this situation is, by all means, a tragedy, what's caught the attention of many news outlets and ourselves is the online paper trail left behind by the perpetrator. This is the 24-year-old gunman, Randy Stairs. The morning before the massacre, they released a monstrously sized folder containing their entire library of videos, 17 hours worth of suicide tapes, and a 42-minute feature titled The Westboro High Massacre. This film featured what appeared to be a Danny Phantom and a fan character shooting up a high school, a la the Columbine High School Massacre. After the characters committed suicide, they apparently became ghosts, hence the direct relation to Danny Phantom. As the folks continued digging through his internet presence, they began noticing that almost all of his content had been strangely intertwined with the character Ember from Danny Phantom.
It was just something about how she looked. It felt like so much more at home for me now. It just seemed like so much more than just being familiar with her.
At this point, it's obvious that Randy was obsessed with Ember, but the extent of his dedication to this cartoon has not yet truly been explored. And that's what this video is about, what this psychotic spree killer interpreted from a fictional cartoon character. The morning before the shootings, Randy released all of his files onto the internet using the Twitter handle EGSWorld and the YouTube channel Ember's Ghost Squad. Ember Ghost Squad was the name of the dark, murder-centric Danny Phantom fanfiction they created in late 2015, and starred the aforementioned self-inserts. One notable trait about Randy was that they were very dysphoric about their gender. They viewed men as being disgusting and claimed that they had been secretly cross-dressing for several years.
I fucking hate guys. I hate the facial hair they have. I hate their crotches. I hate the way their body structure is. I hate them being really muscular and jacked. You know, I just always hated guys. They just disgust me. Honestly, guys are just the most disgusting thing on this planet.
But by Randy's own admission, the only reason they began cross-dressing was because they wanted to look like Ember. The desire to become Ember would escalate throughout their life as they never truly felt themselves.
I just felt like I could have been her in a way. But even just like her body type, all that just felt familiar. She was one of the original reasons I got into cross-dressing. It made me want to dress up like her, but of course I don't have anything remotely close to that, but I ended up going into my mom's closet.
They did many other more bizarre acts in an attempt to become stronger to the cartoon character. Once, they covered themselves in white skin paint to look like a ghost from the cartoon.
That white stain on the floor, like that splotch you'll see on my carpet, that was an Ember thing. I wanted to make my skin as white as possible to look like her. I wanted it to be completely white, so I bought this body paint.
In one of the tapes, they showcase a bedspread they had created of Ember so that she would hover over them while they slept.
The one that's above my bed is from the actual Danny Phantom TV show. Except I got rid of the background and made my own background for it and all that, but to think every single time I've gone to sleep, she's hovered over me as I slept. You know, that was the point of that.
In Danny Phantom, Ember was killed by a mysterious house fire. When Randy resaw their music video in high school, they claimed that Ember looked familiar, seemed at home, and then admitted that they would spend hours listening to her songs on repeat at an extremely low quality.
It's just very hard to explain. I just could not stop playing the track. I just played the living hell out of that song. I just kept envisioning setting myself on fire. And it's what I really considered doing.
But their dedication to the character goes much, much further. In fact, their entire philosophy and view of the afterlife was based around their love for this character. They viewed heaven as being a place where they could be wherever and whatever they wanted. Their ideal position, of course, being in Ember's Ghost Squad, as the self-insert female singer Andrew Blaze.
Throughout my entire life, I always envisioned the afterlife as being this magical place where you can do like whatever you wanted and be whoever you wanted and, you know, just be happy and be around things that you like and not have to worry about any bullshit that you deal here on Earth.
Yes, Andrew Blaze is the character depicted shooting up Westboro High School. Note the last name Blaze. It was picked to bring them one step closer to Ember. The extent of their fanfiction is rather pathetic. They created 9 different handles on Twitter for different members of the fictional group, and would actively roleplay conversations with themselves between them. The death of the character was set for 2015, which is when Randy originally thought they would commit suicide. At around that time, however, they grew more and more interested in the Columbine High School massacre. They even went so far as to purchase weapons similar to those used in the Columbine High School massacre.
The whole reason I got that it's not a sawn-off shotgun, but 12-gauge pump-action shotgun was because of Columbine. That's what Eric Harris used.
One odd similarity between Randy and their self-insert character is that their character apparently also left behind oblivious tapes and documents. Again, we'd like to remind you that this character was written in 2015. Essentially, Randy lived out their own fanfiction in preparation. They also began hearing their own Danny Phantom fan characters' voices in their head, and said they had encouraged them to commit the massacre.
Mackenzie was another reason why I did this, and spiritually, she's my soulmate. She's my girl. That's who I'm going to spend eternity with, and it's who I was with before I was sent here. And I rediscovered her last year, and then she just started talking to me in my head ever since. And she was always there for me throughout my life when I didn't even realize it.
They viewed ghosts as entities different from humans, and as a result grew a hatred for all of humanity. The ghost world was a world where you could do anything you wanted, while Earth was a world where everyone would cast judgment. This is where their philosophy was influenced not only by Columbine, but by their interpretation of Ember.
Ember was always there in this dark place, like I mentioned. She fueled me to do this. It was like she told me to do this. Do it for the Ghost Squad. You know, we need more souls. Kill people. There was just the overall hatred and general stress of being here on this planet. Just my hatred for everybody in the human race. Wanting to kill people. Not wanting to deal with anybody anymore. I just wanted to kill people.
Self-expression was a huge point of contention for them. They refused therapy and medications because they said it wouldn't be them. This is why they constantly repeat that they had to die in order to truly live. They saw something more in Ember because they apparently recognized them spiritually. This is expanded upon with the statement where they proclaim that they were speaking from before and beyond the grave. In the end, most of Randy's attachment to Ember was extremely superficial. They claim to have had a spiritual connection with them, and killed themselves so that they could live in their fantasy world with Danny Phantom characters. While it may seem disingenuous to some to extensively cover the influences of the killer, this was only done to help showcase the psychotic extent of their dedication to Ember, along with how it became interspersed into their fascination with spree killing. The best way we can end this video is with a quote from the District Attorney Jeff Mitchell, who called Randy Stair's attack on the market a mental health situation that utterly spiraled out of control.